Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MovieWorld conference. So, today, myself and Panda are going to go through the conference and sort of talk about the upcoming things that MovieWorld is going to be having over the next couple sort of years and time for the game. So, I'm going to hand over to Panda, where he's going to talk about what we've had over the last few months.
Hello, all. As Cedar has already said, my name is Panda. Um, for those of you that don't know me, I do most of kind of the programming for the Movie World Park. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to kind of cover what we've done in the last sort of six months or so. So one of our main things was obviously our grand opening, where we had absolutely tons of people turn up, and we were really grateful for that. We had several coasters kind of open at that time, but even since then we've released kind of a few more rides. So the kind of main things that we've had since then have been our Easter event, um, which went was really successful, and we've also had the Dynamite Bay rework and the release of our latest roller coaster, Crater Crashers. So um, with the Dynamite Bay rework, we thought it was kind of very dull and very not much going on. So we thought to ourselves, right, we're going to kind of rework this whole thing and add so much more theme to it, I guess is the best way to put it. And that's kind of what we did. And for those of you that saw, we released the update for this a couple of days ago, and we've had some really good feedback since. So we're really grateful for that. In regards to the Easter event, that also went really well. That got some very nice prizes that people have collected. Nice little leaderboard going for a big egg hunt that we did. And yeah, some really nice stuff. I think now we're going to kind of move on to the future timeline where I'll hand back over to Cedar.
Cool, thank you. So, we're going to go over the future timeline in which we're going to talk about lots of upcoming features for Movie World itself. But I do want to add before we go into all the details, everything on here, the dates may change. So we've put estimated dates of when we think or when we're trying to aim for the update to come out, but lots can happen within that time, so we don't want to sort of have a set time in place. But anyway, let me get into it. So, I'm going to sort of jump in between myself and Panda, and we're going to talk about 6 upcoming things for Movie World in which we hope that it has a bit of everything which someone will enjoy. So, if I move over to Panda, he can talk about the first one.
So the first thing, and hopefully the next thing that will be released, is our glowing lantern coaster. So the idea for this is to have a kind of really big indoor dark roller coaster that will be quite fast paced. We're not going to reveal too many details because, again, as Cedar already said, a lot of these things will change before they release. But yeah, this is hopefully this is all going to be based kind of off of Green Lantern, the characters that are within that, and so on. But again, this will hopefully be a really one of our really fast paced, really kind of different roller coasters. I think the next thing is Cedar to cover. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so in October, we are going to be hosting our own sort of Halloween event in which we'll be calling it Movie World Fright Nights. And within this, we're aiming for about 3 or 4 sort of horror mazes, but one of the main ones that will be opening is Beetlejuice, which will be a horror maze which people can walk through, and it sort of follows the story of the Beetlejuice movie. And the one difference from this attraction and the other Halloween ones will be this will be permanently in the game. So once it opens in October, anyone can play it after Halloween, and it'll be a permanent sort of attraction which people can always enjoy, I guess. So that's sort of it for Beetlejuice. So I'll hand back over to Panda.
Cool. So this next thing is a bit of a kind of larger topic to cover. So this is kind of three main things. So the first one is Movie World White Christmas. So this will entail an event that's somewhat similar to the Easter event, in the sense that you'll be able to run around the park, collect presents, spend those presents on prizes. There may be prize rolls or like gift box that you can open, but again, these things might change. Um, the next thing is the event hall, which is one of the bigger things that we're going to be opening. So the idea behind this is that you guys can run your own events within our park. So this could be a variety of stuff. So it could just be like a little conference. It could be a Q&A, things like that. But hopefully we'll get some really good use out of this. Now the final thing is the job overhaul. This is one of the most probably one of the most complex parts because there's quite a lot to this. So there's two different sides to this. So there's the in-game jobs such as like the delivering crates, for example, and there'll be more jobs like that to come in the future. But there's the other side of this where we want to get people more involved as actual kind of staff for the park. And I'm going to hand back over to Cedar to let him explain this bit in a bit more detail.
Yeah, so the job overhaul is sort of an add on to the current jobs. So, judging by all the feedback we've been given, it's sort of been people enjoy being ride operators, but they want to feel more a part of the park. So, the one thing I am thrilled to announce is we will be having guest relations and tour guides as a part of Movie World. So, with guest relations, it will be people can sort of give information to the guests around the park. They can help them out, and sort of that we will give them set areas around the park where they can sort of help people as they join the game or give them information about the history of the game, for example. So, for the tour guides, I'm going to hand back over to Panda because he sort of has the idea in which how we're going to do things.
Thank you. So the way that we plan for this to work is that we will train up you guys and we will kind of create kind of like a not like a rota but like a kind of schedule where we'll say at these times we'll have tours running and we'll have one of you guys touring groups of people around the park. You'll be able to book it in advance and only those people that are booked will be able to go on that tour. And these people will then go around the park, kind of explain the different things, explain the history behind them, maybe explain where the ideas came from or what may change with these things in the future, and kind of things like that. And then as time goes on, we'll get people that can then kind of teach our new tour guide, and so on. Like we kind of build up this kind of staff in the park itself. Right, the next bit I'm going to hand back over to Cedar because I think we are moving on to the next ride.
Okay. Cool. So the major sort of upcoming ride which we're going to be adding, which is personally one of my favourite rides so far, is Studio Tour. So this ride will be different from the other ones in which it will have a unique system which can sort of give you a real good tour around different sets. So we're going to have different scenes in a way in which people can sort of experience it, feel more a part of it. And lots of these scenes will be new ones, they'll be for upcoming areas, and they'll sort of be the current areas we have in the game. And within the studio tour, it's going to have lots of voice acting, it's going to have a full tour in which people can be sort of immerse themselves within the tour to feel like they're a part of Movie World. And this tour will sort of be one of our longest rides, definitely, because you'll be giving a guided tour around the studio in a way. So, yeah, that's sort of it for it. We have lots of ideas coming up for it, but it definitely is one of my favourite upcoming rides. So, with all of that said, I'm going to hand back over to Panda.
Thank you very much. So the next thing is the Costa Ventura boat tours. Now, this is one of the rides where we've only done a very small amount of planning for at this point in time. So it's one of those rides that is quite far in the future. Um, but the idea for this one is you'll be on a boat, kind of going round almost like famous Hollywood Hollywood sets, sorry, kind of viewing different things. There might be a few surprises along the way. Again, as I've said, we haven't done too much planning for this, but there is more details will follow later in the year. I'm going to hand back over to Cedar for the final thing.
Cool. Just adding on to the boat tours, it will be different from the studio tour. I'm just sort of giving the people an idea. So the studio tour will be going through different scenes. The actual boat tour will be a set story set within a unique land in a way, but it will be a boat sort of exploring through a water area. It will be based on sort of real life rides, which I'm sure many people have ridden, but I just wanted to clarify that a little bit. But let me move on to the final sort of part. So, our final thing for this conference is going to be we're adding Volcano Cove into the park. So, this will be a joint collaboration with multiple other groups, and within this area, it's going to include a water park and a hotel. So, people will be able to sort of explore the water park, enjoy the roller coasters within MovieWorld itself, but then they can sort of stay within a hotel. And the hotel will be able to be sort of booked with an in-game checking system. The hotels will have different themed rooms, and sort of all the rooms will be themed around different lands in MovieWorld. And you can sort of all the rooms will be free, and then some of the premium rooms in a way can be purchased with MovieBucks, our in-game currency. So it sort of adds different aspects to sort of develop Movie World to make it a much more bigger park. And within Volcano Cove, there will be a sort of massive volcano because this new area is going to be based off Volcano Bay, which I'm sure many people have visited and lots of people know. But this will be our sort of unique twist added onto it. So it will have all the parts people love, but then it will have more rides, there'll be lots of water slides, and sort of many different things within it. And the hotel will definitely be a huge part of the movie world because I know lots of people wanted to feel more immersed within it. So I won't keep spoiling different things for that because I think we should leave it for a little bit because it'd be a big surprise. But moving on to the future timeline of everything we've just announced. So do you want to go through it, Panda?
Yeah, so as we said at the very start, we've got the Glowing Lantern coaster, hopefully a very fast-paced, dark theme coaster. We then have the Beetlejuice, which will hopefully come out around Halloween time, be a permanent kind of Halloween attraction. We'll have Movie World White Christmas, in which there'll be the kind of the Christmas event and things of that sort. There'll be the job overhaul and the event hall. There will be the studio tour. There will be the Costa Ventura boat tours, and then finally Volcano Cove.
Awesome. So
Believe.
yeah.
Yep.
So we sort of hope this gives you an idea of what's coming to Movie World, and the 6 things we have announced there. That isn't all that's coming to Movie World. There'll be lots of different things in between, but these are the sort of big 6 in a way, which we're hoping everyone will enjoy. But if anyone has sort of any questions, any sort of suggestions they want to give us, we will do it just after this conference. And feel free to ask any questions now. We will try and answer as many as possible. We're also doing another conference on Monday if people have any more questions. So feel free to ask some now if you have any.